Scare talk about efforts to change Social Security has been a staple of Democratic campaigns for years. You might have thought the issue had subsided, but now Democrats themselves are finding they tread on slippery political ground if they even agree with the president that there's a problem. Chief Washington correspondent Jim Angle has the story.
This gorilla has been attending campaign events for months to carry a message: don't monkey around with Social Security. His sponsors want to tarnish the idea put forward by President Bush to let people put some of their payroll taxes into a personal account. But the gorilla got a big surprise this week when a group led by former Democratic Congressman Tim Penny announced the results of a petition drive.
We've got somewhere between 160 and 170 signatures on this promise at this point.
More than 70 of them from Democrats, all signing a simple pledge: guarantee the promised benefits for current and nearly retired, be fair to future generations, and protect and strengthen the safety net for the poor and disabled. But it also said reaching an agreement will require all options be on the table. Opponents of personal accounts cried foul. 70 Democrats, including incumbents such as Eleanor Holmes Norton, Marcy Kaptur, and Sheila Jackson Lee, among others, had signed a pledge that did not exclude the one thing they've been trying to kill.
We're not asking candidates to sign on to any specific solution. We're just asking them to be honest about the math, to be fair to the next generation, and to come to the table in a bipartisan way.
Even a former Democratic senator who opposes personal accounts praised the petition.
You've got to have a solution. It's got to be bipartisan. And yes, I think Tim Penny did good work in getting these signatures.
But because Penny and his group, For Our Grandchildren, do support the idea of personal accounts, those on the other side accused him of fooling the Democrats into signing with deceit and trickery.
There was no trickery involved.
Even if they said they wanted private accounts, that wouldn't frighten me.
New York Democrat Charlie Rangel, who the opponents of personal accounts asked to speak for them, didn't seem to think the petition was that big a deal.
It's such vague language. It means absolutely nothing. It has no political implication.
Rangel said he, too, is willing to sit down if Republicans are willing to work with him.
We have to just be honest and ask the President of the United States, Mr. President, do you want to work in a bipartisan way? If you do, then let's come to the table.
Something has to be done. In just the last 3 years, the shortfall in what is needed to pay benefits already promised has grown $3 trillion to $13.5 trillion. That's trillion with a T. Both parties need to act soon before these problems become part of the 2008 presidential elections and before they get any worse. Britt?
Jim, thank you. The latest Fox News Opinion Dynamics poll finds President Bush's approval remaining unchanged at 40%. But nearly half of likely voters still say they would prefer an unnamed Democratic candidate over a Republican. That's the so-called generic ballot, while 38% would choose a Republican, as you can see. As to which